Nollywood is one of the world's biggest film industries. Millions of fans, millions of dollars. And the storylines? We all know those storylines. But before Netflix got hold of films like Shantytown and shows like Young, Famous and African, there was Nollywood. And before then, something even more powerful. The traveling theatre, revolutionary film movements, and ancient storytelling rituals that shaped the African spirit. Let's break it down.
Okay, let's go.
Hi, this is Sikho and welcome to Sikho Breaks It Down. We break it down one crazy thing at a time. Today we're breaking down the evolution of African storytelling on screen. Let's start with where a lot of modern African film comes from. The Yoruba traveling theatre. In the 1950s and 60s, before there were studios or editing suites or streaming platforms, Yoruba actors would pack up their drums and costumes and would hit the road. Literally, there were live traveling troupes performing in villages and towns across Western Nigeria. They used folktale, satire, music, and traditional wisdom to entertain as well as educate.
Just walk with me here. Every day has been feeling like an omnibus, but we are watching it in reality.
The GOAT of this movement, Hubert Ogunde, actor, playwright, and fire starter. His plays challenged colonial power and later criticized post-colonial leadership and how it had failed with the people. These were not just plays, they were acts of resistance. They were there to educate, to challenge the status quo. Storytelling was a form of cultural memory and rebellion. Fast forward to the 1990s. Nigeria's economy is struggling, movie theaters are closing down, and celluloid film is too expensive. So what shall we do? We innovate. In 1992, a low-budget supernatural film, Living in Bondage, was released on VHS, and that changed everything. Suddenly, people were making movies everywhere, in their homes, in the streets, in churches. No need for Hollywood camera. Just a camcorder, a story, and a whole lot of hustle. This was the birth of Nollywood. The stories were wild. Love, witchcraft, redemption, but they were their own. Nollywood gave Africans what they craved, stories that looked, sounded, and were about them. They felt like home. Now, it wasn't perfect. The quality was questionable. The plots were chaotic, but it was African people owning their narrative. Long before the Nollywood hustle, there was a different way. One that not only saw film as business, but as a revolution. Meet Osame Sembène, an African author turned filmmaker, dubbed the father of African cinema. After independence, he believed that film could wake people up, make them question colonial lies, corrupt leaders, religious hypocrisy, as well as gender roles. His films like Black Girl and Zala, His films like Black Girl and Zala were powerful, poetic, political. But here's the twist, he refused to make them in French. He used Wolof, an African language, so that it can directly speak to the people of the land. Because how do you decolonize the mind in the language of the colonizer? Across Africa, African filmmakers joined him in creating the Pan-African cinema. Here's the truth. African cinema was never just about entertainment. It has always been a tool to preserve culture, challenge power, and reflect people's true lives. Whether it was a play under colonial rule, a VHS tape that was passed around in the 90s, or a Netflix original circulating the world, the goal was the same: tell our stories in our voices and on our terms. So next time when somebody asks you when African cinema started, don't start with Netflix. Don't even start with Nollywood. Tell them about the traveling African tropes, the rebel directors, the storytellers with drums and dreams. Because African storytelling isn't something new. It is ancestral, it is revolutionary, and it is just getting started. Wow! That is well. That is all I have for you today. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to, let's roll it, like, subscribe, share, and join us next time when we break it down one quiz. Bye guys.